February 7th, 2020.
Is there another Andrew Wiggins in the league? There are two guys. Is it guys like the same names, or is this the guy that was the #1 pick for the Cavs, traded for Kevin Love, and has arguably the worst contract in the sport?
Same guy.
That's the guy? Man, we are light years away from the Warriors being light years ahead of the whole rest of the league. The hell you doing, Bob Myers?
And whilst this clip from Nick Wrong might seem over the top, when the Warriors first traded for Andrew Wiggins, there were a lot of people that were either surprised or critical of the trade. And even the people that thought it could work alright were only really saying that because the Dubs didn't have space to fit D'Lo with Clay and Steph. But no one really believed in Wiggins like the Warriors did. Now fast forward to All-Star weekend of this year, and Andrew Wiggins was named not just an All-Star, but an All-Star starter. And for some, this was the time to take back the negative things they had said about Wiggs, like his inability to be a winner, his poor defense, poor motor, poor attitude, any number of negative connotations that had been attached to his name throughout his entire career could now be erased, right? Because he was an All-Star starter on an elite team and did so through elite defense and, well, some highlight plays on offense as well. But for a lot of people, this wasn't the feel-good All-Star appearance that it seemed, because many believed he wasn't deserving. Oh, how are you going to vote in Andrew Wiggins as an All-Star when he's only averaging 17 points a game? He's so overrated, he's not even that good defensively, etc., etc. I know for a fact you guys saw all of these comments as well, and the disrespect was still there. Now fast forward again, and any doubts over the legitimacy of Wiggins' All-Star appearance were put to rest when he was the second best player on a championship team, in which he went from guarding Luka Doncic in the conference finals to Jason Tatum in the finals, and he didn't just guard them, but he clamped them up. Evidenced by the fact he kept JT way below his previous shooting numbers and forced more turnovers, whilst also keeping Luka below his previous shooting numbers as well. And why am I bringing both of these things up? Because Wiggs surprised people not once, but twice during last season. And this begs the question, just how many more surprises does Andrew Wiggins have? Well, I think the biggest surprise could be just how elite his defense can become. But before we talk about that, I still believe there is some untapped offensive potential as well. Now, I want to start with a less obvious part of his game that could help him and the team offensively, and that's his rebounding. We all know he turned into Dennis Rodman in the playoffs, and if you think it's a fluke, he said this on Andre Iguodala's podcast about it.
But I don't know what it was, but you start getting every rebound in the playoffs. I mean, offensive rebounds, you were getting everything. So, what was your preparation like that just turned that switch on?
So it was like the offensive rebounds. I was really just thirsty to score. I'm in the rebound. I'm like, this ain't that hard. Like I can rebound. Like I can do this. Like I can't see. I'm never gonna average 4 rebounds again.
I mean, it wasn't just a minor difference. He averaged twice the amount of offensive rebounds in the playoffs as he did in the regular season. And that not only provides extra opportunities for himself and the team, but I believe the extra aggression on the boards can tie into another aspect of his offense that can really improve. The free throw line. Yeah. Last year was the least he's gotten to the line and the worst percentage he shot at the line. And it's not like there isn't an opportunity for him to really get downhill and get to the line. Because let's not forget, at times he's playing with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Jordan Poole. How's that for spacing? We saw Jonathan Kuminga as a rookie get to the free throw line consistently. There's no reason Wiggs can't get there 5 to 6 times a game as he finds a balance between his new improved outside game and also the inside game that he's always had. However, with this being said, I think the sneakiest room for improvement in his game is from a playmaking perspective. We know he's capable of breaking down the defense and kicking it out or finding the cutters, but it's plays like this that really excite me. Watch this play, where Wiggs sets the screen out top for Steph, and as always, Steph is trapped and gives the ball to Wiggs, who draws Rob Will before kicking it out to Otto for the open 3. Now, why is this play in particular so interesting? Because we've seen Draymond Green do it a million times, leveraging Steph Curry's gravity in the short pick and roll and 4-on-3 situations. But how about Andrew Wiggins? Because the difference between these two is although Draymond's a much better passer, in those situations, teams aren't often scared of Draymond anymore getting to the rim. Wiggins, on the other hand, can either explode straight to the rim if the team decides to try and cover off the corner, or he can pass it out to the corner like on those occasions. He's a pretty decent passer, and with his athleticism getting downhill, I think it's a set they should look to run more consistently with either him or Steph, or him and Jordan Poole. But let's be honest, the real potential for Wiggins still remains on the defensive end of the floor. There just aren't many players in the NBA with his physical tools. He can switch multiple positions, he's a lot stronger than most people think he is, which enables him to defend in the post, and he's also capable of making plays, whether that's blocking shots off the weak side or getting in the passing lanes. And this might seem like common knowledge that he's a fantastic defender, but apparently it's not to everyone. Because if you think he's going to enter the season with a level of complacency after winning the chip last year, I struggle to believe that. Because let me point you to last year's all-defensive teams. Now, all-defensive teams are incredibly difficult to make, so it's understandable that he missed out. But you know what's not understandable? You know what is ridiculous? There were a total of 15 forwards to get a vote. That included the likes of Kevin Durant, Scotty Barnes, and Al Horford, amongst others. Yet Wiggs got 0 votes. 0. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've heard in a while? Well, maybe it'll sound less ridiculous when former Warrior Gary Payton II only got 2 votes, which had him behind the likes of Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul. So for those keeping tally at home, GP2 and Wiggs, 2 top 3 defenders on a top 2 regular season defense and a championship level defense, got less all-defensive votes combined than Kyle Lowry. And if you think he didn't take that personally, think again, because on the Vince Carter show, this is what Wiggs said recently. One thing I'm really going to strive for this upcoming season is being on the all-defensive team. That's a big goal of mine, and hopefully I open some eyes in the playoffs and I can be on the radar. I didn't get 1 vote this year. I took it personally in the playoffs. And you're damn right he took it personally in the playoffs, because not only did he clamp up Luka and Tatum on several occasions, like I mentioned before, but it's plays like this which make him special. He starts on Brandon Clark, who sets a screen, which switches him onto Tyus Jones. He then forces Jones right, before Jones passes it to Bane, which Wiggs reads and slides over and blocks the shot. 3 different players in 1 possession. Or how about this play where he switches from Tatum in the post to the Derek White drive and erases his shot. This versatility is what makes him a truly elite defender. So much so that B-Ball Index ranked Wiggins in the 99th percentile when it comes to defensive versatility, and there's 1 big championship ring to back it up. And if he can go to another level defensively, there might be another championship ring waiting as well. If you did enjoy the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Have a great day.